Hello, my beautiful witches, heathens, magic muses. Welcome back to As Above, So Below. So today we are going to be chatting about Hecate or Hecate. That's why I have it dark in here. So I really wanted this video to be from the heart. I am going to give you guys some, lore, some of that sort of knowledge, but I really want you to feel the essence of who she is and how she comes into your vein of witchcraft. So, Hecate. She is the goddess of the crossroads. She is queen of the witches. She is actually a titan. So she was the goddess of necromancy, of the night. And she is the daughter of Perses and Asteria. And she actually gained sovereignty over the earth, the sea, the land, and also heaven. But she acts as a guide. And Zeus actually favored her because she really didn't let any sort of ruling overthrow her. So there's many legends of Hecate, and the most well known is actually when she helps Persephone maneuver through the underworld. So she helps get Persephone up to Demeter. So Hecate actually made kind of like a bond with Demeter to help get Persephone out of the underworld. And that's where she acts as a guide. So she is a triple goddess. She is known as the Maiden, Mother, and Crone. And she has torches. She has serpents. Black dogs are very connected to her. And she rules the new moon or the dark moon. And snakes are also very connected to her too. And she is connected to mole cats, which are actually like ferrets. But she is governed of liminal space. She is the goddess that you call on when you need direction. And she has served as such a guide in my life. And it's so interesting because so many people have different feelings of her. But when she comes in a very serious tone. This is the goddess where she's like, you're gonna not let any shit fly with me because you have to do the work. And she really has you face your fears, and she has you question why they're there. And I think that's why I love Hecate so much, because when you are walking the path of the witch, you are walking side by side with judgment, with fear, and you are allowing this guiding force to walk with you, and you have to move in spite of fear. You have to move in spite of judgment. And that's really what Hecate has you. She becomes this force of really having you look at yourself and having you look at all of the things that you have been pushing away, or all of the things that you've been telling yourself why you can't do something. She's like, she's not going to let that fly. She's like, you have to do the work in order to get to this point. And Hecate is also really great when it comes to psychic gifts, in particular mediumship. She rules the dead too, and necromancy. So she was the first goddess that I connected with. Really, when I started my initiation, she was right there, front and center. I didn't really have to call on her. She was just like, this is us, this is here. And it's so interesting because I'm so drawn to fire. I'm a Pisces sun, but the element of fire feels like it runs so deep in my veins. I make candles. I work a lot with candle magic, with, doing fires in my backyard. Like, it's so transformative to me. And looking at her, she has those torches and she is a guide. And I have a statue here of her. So She has many different forms, but you can see the skulls down here, you can see the hounds, and you can see the torches. And she governs the night, and she really forces you to trust your intuition, trust where you are being guided, because if you are in the night and you can't see, the only thing that you know is to move forward with your light. That's why she holds the torches. Also, why she's here. um, so I'm going to kind of take you back to when I first started my witchcraft journey back in 2016, 10 years ago. So I had done my initiation. I had a big shamanic journey that I didn't even know I was going to have. So my power animal is the panther. And it's so interesting looking at the correlations between that and Hecate, because it's dark. And I have always loved subconscious work. I do hypnosis. I do tarot readings. I am with people in very transformative times. I just felt her presence come in too. Which that's also interesting. When you start to work with her, you can start to feel how she connects with you. The light in my eyes kind of just went like this. So, and you can feel when she's here with you. And offerings that you can do for her are meat, garlic, wine, and she loves garlic, which is funny because I love garlic too. And she really asks you to do the subconscious work. So when I first started, I was raised Mormon, and going down this path, there was a lot of things that I had to really shed and get out of my head. And she had me stand in my power. And when I went through my big shift and change, I came out of the broom closet. There was a lot of judgment. There was a lot of judgment from my family. There was a lot of judgment from other outside forces. And I had to own it. I had to literally walk in my power and say, I don't give two flying fucks what you think about what I'm doing. This is helping me, and this is helping me change in a fundamental way for me to trust myself and not an outside source. So I have to give so much credit to her, and she floats kind of in and out of my life, but now I'm starting to tap more into my mediumship skills, and she is right there with me. I think she's going to be a goddess that I am going to live my whole life with, because she is a guide, and we all have things that we have to work on as we move through life. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be things that we don't necessarily understand, but we have to move through. And that's where her wisdom comes into play. And I also started to do new moon rituals. That's just kind of how it started to fall. I do those online if you want to join at any point in time. It is in the link in the description box below. But I didn't know, because witches were like, full moons, full moons get they get a lot of attention. But for me, I was like, I feel like I need to work with the new moon. And lo and behold, that is the moon that Hecate governs. And I have also been told that it feels like I have lineage with Hecate. I don't necessarily know any of that. I haven't found any signs of witchcraft in my lineage, but there's definitely shamanic. I guess, great grandmother was Cherokee. But when I look at this and I look at the craft, I'm like, this feels like I have done this before. Like I have come back to help people, to remind them of the magic within, which is why I started this channel. Which is why I have, started my candle business, which is why I do healing services. All of it is innate magic. And she really reminds you to gain authority of your life and your fears. And it's so interesting because I had a black dog. His name was Bruce. Um, and when Bruce was nearing the end of his life, I knew something was coming up, but I was actually, I went out to a park with my friend and we did like a little labyrinth. And then when we came back, there was a black dog in the middle of the road. And I was like, this feels like some sort of warning or some sort of sign. And not even 3 weeks after that, my dog passed. Um, so when you build that connection with her, she comes in to really remind you to trust your instincts. And being the goddess of the crossroads, she also helps you navigate through those times of uncertainty. So you can leave an offering for her at a crossroads and she will bless you with clarity on your decisions. And she also, so I have this pendant and it has a strophalos, which is a labyrinth in it. And this is how she helps guide through the ins and outs of life. But in order to feel her, you have to trust yourself. That's almost like a rite of passage or a gateway. And I can't thank her enough for her guidance. I have her tattooed on me. And even though I don't have any kids, I have my animals, and through the phases with her, through the maiden, mother, and crone, I began to understand those different phases. Like I feel very much in my mother phase right now. And I can understand that through her workings, through what it is that she has helped me with. Even though I feel like she comes in very like crone-like to me. Owls are also a symbol of her too. And I love owls. I have a owl hat that I embroidered. But she is such a staple in my life. And I also work with Freya. I work with Odin. There's other deities that I work with too. But she's there when the darkness needs understanding. And I think that's why I love shadow work so much, because in order to move through your life with understanding, you have to meet the darkness. That is the path of the witch. You are walking side by side with the unknown. And by you really not having fear and having courage to move through the dark, that is where you find understanding. That is where you find power. And all of this, I didn't, when I was younger, being raised Mormon, I loved Harry Potter. I loved Tim Burton. I loved all of the weird things that my mom's like, what, why? She's like, I don't know why you like all that stuff. And I'm like, now knowing what I know now, I'm like, that makes perfect sense to me. So she also allows you to go your own path and to have your own autonomy. So I hope this helped give you some clarity. And the biggest thing that I can say is if you do want a relationship with her, take her seriously, and you can put out offerings for her again with meat, garlic, wine, red wine. She likes red wine. But she really asks you to take your life seriously and to take yourself seriously and to step into your power. And you will know when she's around, because challenging things will come up. Or you also moving through depression, moving through anxiety. She helps you navigate that, because again, she asks you, where is this coming from? And that to me is, she doesn't leave you in the darkness. And that is something that I just can't thank her enough. So if you do choose to build a relationship with this amazing goddess, take her seriously, take yourself seriously, and you will grow in that. So, alrighty guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. Put it in the comments down below if you are wanting to work with her and if you are wanting to grow closer to her. Again, I do have new moon rituals that I do every month. The next one will be on, it's in April. It's the new moon in Aries. So that one would be a great one to really sink into the depths to meet Hecate. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. But again, if any of these, this information resonates, please like, share, subscribe. And then if there's any like topics that you want me to talk about, drop it in the comments below. I love to hear what you guys are wanting, what you're needing. And if there's anything that I can do to help you out, don't hesitate to ask. But remember, you are the magic, and I will see you on the next one. Blessed be. Bye.